Hi, I'm Dana. Welcome to Things I've Learned. I am an intuitive healer and a teacher, and I just turned 50 a few months ago, and my spiritual advisors and I decided it was time to share my seeds of wisdom from the first 50 years of life. A lot of the things I've learned, hopefully all. Hopefully the channel continues to run for the next 50 years. Start sharing what I've learned in the hopes that others can kind of glean the knowledge without having to go through all the dregs that I did to get the knowledge. How about that? Keep the vibration higher. So today's topic is the power of words. Subtitle: Nothing is all bad or all good. I have subscribed to this idea for years and years and years and years and years, and people challenge me left and right, but I stick to what I see as truth. When I was younger, I was working with an incredibly awesome therapist, and she used to challenge me all the time on the words I used, because words have so much power, and I would tell her that things were horrible. So think about the definition of the word horrible, right? That's a bad, big word. So I think the only thing higher than that would be like catastrophic, which I probably also used. I love the English language. I should probably point that out. Anyway, I started to learn as she would change the word. She wouldn't judge me or critique me, but when I would say it was horrible, she would pause and she'd say, "Was it?" And then I would pause and say, "Well, it was a bad situation and it made me really sad," or whatever it was. But I understood her meaning. We as a society tend to over-exaggerate things, partially because it's quicker and easier, and partially because we get stuck in stories in our head and we let our ego take off with the story. So in a day, perfect example, I would challenge anybody who told me they had a bad day, okay? A day is 24 hours long. 24 hours long. You're telling me in 24 hours that go down to minutes, that go down to seconds, you didn't have one or two good things or even neutral things happen in that time? Of course you did. And when we use that language, that over-exaggerating language, and it's negative vibrational language like catastrophic, horrible, bad, those types of things, it drags us down. It drags down our energy, it drags down our mood, and it's really, really unhealthy for us. So today, what I would really encourage you to start doing is paying attention to how you use language. In some cases, we can be living through something and it is extremely difficult. And when you're in it, you honestly think, I'm not going to get out of this. I don't see a way out. I don't know a way out. I am not dispelling that those times happen in our lives. What I am saying is, please try to take the blinders off and recognize the tiny bits of good sprinkled in the otherwise difficult situation. People coming to your aid, or a gorgeous sunset made gorgeous because there are clouds, or the simplest of niceties that a stranger does for you, holds the door, gives you an extra second, pays it forward someplace. There are good things all around us. But when we start to over-exaggerate our language and we start to give in to the stories that are most of the times exaggerated in our minds, we lose sight of the fact that there is good, there is bad, there is neutral in everything. I am 50. I have lived some incredibly dark times in my life. And when I look back on those times now, especially because hindsight is 2020, I can see all the joy and the light and the beauty in the dark, because it's not pitch black. There's always light. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is a friend of mine about 10 years ago, when I was in one of those really dark times, shared the story of the butterfly, which I'm certain a lot of my YouTube followers have heard. But for those of you that haven't heard the story of the butterfly, I just got to share it yesterday with a client for the first time because she's on a path to growth. So she's feeling horrible. And so here we go. There was a gentleman watching a butterfly struggle his way out of a cocoon. And he would go away and go do his thing, and he'd come back a couple hours later and he would watch the butterfly struggle. And it was really, really hard to watch how much that butterfly was struggling to get out of that cocoon. And he would leave and he would come back, and the butterfly would be a little bit more out of the cocoon, but still just the struggle was real. It was a lot. So eventually, when there was just a little bit left of the butterfly in the chrysalis, or the cocoon, he took a tiny pair of scissors and he cut the rest of the cocoon away, and he freed the butterfly. He helped the butterfly because he felt so awful for the butterfly, and the butterfly was free. And because the butterfly was not able to come out of the chrysalis on its own fully, the last part of its body and its wings were completely saturated with fluid that occurs naturally in the process, the metamorphosis process from caterpillar to butterfly. So the butterfly died because it couldn't fly, and it couldn't eat, and it couldn't exist the way butterflies are supposed to exist. And it's all because of the struggle coming out of that chrysalis. We can't assume that just because something appears bad or horrible or awful, that it is at its core. Because there's always light and there's always divine purpose. And so I would encourage you all in those times in your life to trust. This is our trust center right here. Trust in the divine. Trust in what you can't see. Trust in divine purpose and divine timing, and hang on to those little moments of light. So that's my seeds for thought for today. Please share with anybody that you feel would benefit from hearing this message today. And until next time, namaste.